Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to HOTFIX. So today we're going to be talking about the consoles, Mr. Kirioth. This Xbox One device and the PlayStation 4. So, well, what do you think? In fact, let's go back to the launch thingies. Let's talk about that, because as a PC gamer, sir, through and through. In fact, let me take you back to my history, my past, sir, my illustrious past of massive victory and ultimate win. So, I think I had a SNES. Now, I would have been very young when I had one of these. I then had a PlayStation, I believe. Then I had a PC. Now, the PS1, whatever the hell they call it these days, is it PSX or something? I don't know. That was the last console I ever had. And I did have quite a lot of games for that, must be said. But from what are we looking at here? From 1998, I think that's when I went to high school. I had a PC then. So
that is...
I've had a PC since then. So I've only ever played on a PC. I'm very much a PC gamer. So do consoles interest me?
You hated your Xbox so much you gave it to me.
Oh, yeah, no, the
Twice.
Xbox. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so yeah, twice. Yeah, what the fuck? So I had the Xbox. I bought this when it first came out. Now, I'll be honest, I had quite a lot of money back in the day. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy an Xbox for the sake of it. You know, when you're like, how old was I? 18, 19? Something like that.
Yeah.
Got a job full time, not doing that, just wasted money on whatever. Bought an Xbox. I played. This was the funny thing. I had Morrowind. No, not Morrowind. Oblivion. That was it. Put it into the Xbox. I was like, this looks shit, because of course I had it on my PC and it looked infinitely better. So why would I play it? Why would I buy an Xbox? A 360 to play. But I did, and I'm like, no, this is so bad. So I got rid of that. When it became a footstand, and then you had it, and you had it for some time. To be fair, at least you played it.
It lasted. The lad lasted.
At least you played it.
Yeah, I think they got. He was a first generation, because he you got him like straight on release, and the lad lasted for years. He only broke recently, so that's like, got what, 6 to 8 years? I don't know, something ridiculous. The lad.
So let's just jump forward a bit to the next Xbox I got, which was the black one. Is it Slim or something? It's called. I don't know. The reason why I bought that is because I was sent a capture card for the Xbox from some company, I forget, and it was pretty bad. What was it?
What is Avamedia? Was it?
Something. No, it wasn't Avamedia.
No, it wasn't.
It was some other company. Anyway, I got an Xbox because they were really cheap. I think I paid 150 quid for it. It had 3 games with it. I think it had Halo with it and FIFA and something. And I kind of wanted to sort of experience the consoles anyway, because that was a period where I was sort of hating on consoles quite a lot, and I didn't really have the experience to really hate on them. So I'm like, I'll have a go. And I played it for a bit, but then it quickly turned into it wasn't a footstand this time. It was just a desk ornament. Which quite hilariously, one of my sister's boyfriend had seen it, and he was like, "Oh, you play the Xbox?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Oh, mine broke." I think he wanted it, but I was just like, whatever, dribble a load of crap. Anyway, I give it to Mr. Kirioth, because I know Mr. Kirioth would use it.
And it does.
His old wifey.
It still receives like daily use, that chap. Because I play PC games for. I'm just gonna say it. I play PC games for playing serious games. Right. That's the only way I can put it. If I want to sit down and I want to like properly invest in a game, I will play it on the PC, because that is my preferred platform. That's what I've had the most of. That's what I prefer. And if I want to play a game with Kat, then we'll play something like Soul Calibur or FIFA or Mortal Kombat or Dead or Alive. We'll play fighting games mostly, and maybe Assassin's Creed, and that's it. That's all it's used for: fighting games and Assassin's Creed. And even then,
the console wars are over, ladies and gentlemen. The PC, it's won, and it's the king. But anyway, let's talk about the goddamn the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So we're going to go back to the PlayStation 4 thingy, and I watched both events, all of them, completely in their entirety. I think the PlayStation one was much longer. This is what I remember. So they didn't have the console, which I thought was kind of stupid, because I want to see what the thing looks like. They showed you the controller. They then showed you streaming technology, which I thought was pretty funky. The ability to stream your game to, I think it was Ustream, using some, I think it's Gaikai, I think they call it, the company is streaming technology. Anyway, had streaming, had the ability to take over your friend's game and show them how to play the game, and showed you games. And, okay, the Xbox One turns up, and it was, if you followed me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, and you should follow me, by the way, it was just TV, because I was giving like a kind of like a live piss-takey commentary. I was just taking the piss, but whatever. Media, TV, media, Call of Duty, and I think it was a FIFA game, a bit of a FIFA game it showed. But it didn't really, it showed you the console, which was good, but it didn't do anything else. And their defense was, well, we'll show you games at E3. Now, after watching both of these events, as very much a PC gamer, did I ever think to myself, you know what, I'm going to get one of these consoles? I'll be honest, Mr. Kirioth, no. I mean, if anything, maybe more a PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One, because the Xbox One was just trying to do what my PC does, but my PC already does better in every single way.
For me, I caught the PlayStation 4 one as it was happening, but I went back and watched the Xbox One. The PlayStation 4 one, the lack of actual console there was a really bizarre decision, and I do not understand why they did it. I don't know whether it was supposed to be like a teaser or whether it was supposed to get people talking, but it did technically get people talking, and what they all said was, where the fuck is the console? Which is not really, the main focal point that you want to take away from a presentation. But it looked kind of okay. Like, I liked some of the features. I liked the streaming. I liked... people were hating on it, but I quite liked the idea of someone being able to watch your game and like being able to take over. Not because I'd do it myself, but because I'd happily do it to other people if I was watching them and they were being totally shit. Because I'd like to go, no, I think you're fine. So little things like that I quite liked. And I thought it was a lot more interesting. And I thought it was better put together than an Xbox One presentation. Which, I think the main problem with that one, right, I think they could have got away with, firstly, not saying television as much, because they said it all the fucking time. And secondly, not putting it on, like, so close to E3 that showing the games would mean there was nothing to show at E3, but far enough away that everyone was asking where the games were. Because to me, what they could have done was they could have waited a few weeks. E3's got a load of build-up. They could have done some sort of crossover thing. They could have said the day before E3, we will be announcing the new console, and you'll be able to see the games at E3. So then you'd have like a 2-day event. You'd have, here's the console, here's all the crap associated with it, all the football and the television that anyone outside America can't use, GG. But then the next day, you'd have, here's the new game.
Hey Brad, remember to tell them about ESPN. Whatever he said.
God.
His name wasn't Brad, I just made that up.
No,
I agree. I agree.
Something that made me laugh about that presentation as well. Now, I got this from listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast the other day, and they were talking about the presentation. There's a problem. You know how they were talking about the Kinect and how you could say Xbox go home and all that shit? Well, when the guy says Xbox home, because people have already got Kinect and they're already plugged into their Xboxes, apparently quite a few people who are watching it on their Xbox because it was on the dashboard got kicked out of the stream. Because the Kinect was picking up on the guy's voice, giving commands. And so one guy was like, he said that he was quite happy watching it, and then the guy said Xbox home, and he just went to his dashboard. And he missed part of the stream because of it, what had happened. And I just thought to myself, that is one thing where I think they massively screwed up with the Xbox One presentation, because when they were talking about Xbox do this, Xbox do that, all the camera and the recognition, just everything to do with the Kinect.
How do they show it off, though? I mean, I seen a thing which said the guy, I think this was actually on IGN, because I remember linking to it on Twitter, because I said, it's probably the only time I'll ever link to an IGN article, so get ready. Every time he said anything, like a voice command, he'd put his hands in his pockets, and they reckon that he's pressing like a clicker to send the presentation on to the next bit, and every time he says, Xbox, whatever, it was a bit like, yeah, okay, maybe he is, maybe he isn't, I don't know. But I think the thing that annoyed me with that presentation was there was a bit where he's showing a film and he says, oh, and get ready, what you can actually do is if you wave your hands around like a fanny, you can use snap mode, so you can bring on Skype on the side of the film, and then you can talk to your friend. And I'm thinking, yeah, while I'm watching a film, why would I want to talk to my friend? But apparently this is an amazing feature. And then he could say, hey, I'll order some tickets to the next film at the cinema. nobody in their right mind, when they sit down to watch a film, thinks, you know what, I'm going to go on Skype. I'm also going to go on the internet as well. Because you know what, bloke? They're watching a fucking film. So for them to sit there and show that off as some amazing feature, I was just literally pissing myself laughing. I was like, this is like the worst thing ever. Like, okay, I've watched things on my computer, and I've also had Skype open on the other monitor. And I may have even sent the odd message through Skype, but it's on a different screen. It is not on the same screen. It's not
Your
like
movie's not being resized and fucked about with. So that, and the other thing as well is that I saw that and I immediately thought, well, the potential for pissing off your friends is infinite there. They've just decided to rent Iron Man 3 or whatever, and you just sit there and like, oh, they're watching the film. I'll see if they like it and fucking call them on Skype. Brilliant. Great. And even if they've got it on busy...
Hey, Kiri, do you like the film? Fuck off. Oh!
Even if you've got it on busy, the minute you stop watching the film, Skype, you're going to look at Skype, and there's going to be like a million missed calls because every fucker's going to be sat there trying to ruin your day. It just seems like
what about all the craziness, though? What about the hate? What about like every time a console's released, there's just fucking hate, a torrent of abuse?
This is the other thing, right? This is the thing that actually I was more in the end. I was more irritated by the sheer amount of just petty bickering than I was by the actual presentations. If you look at the Xbox One, what was the main point of contention? It was the fact there were no games. They didn't talk about games.
Well, there was Call of Duty with a fish AI. What the fuck?
And did you see the lighting system as well? They were talking about how it's got an advanced lighting system.
No, I've seen this. Yeah.
And the sun was right in front of the guy, but there were shafts of light coming in from the far left.
Like, what? From the other sun.
But like the lack of games was the biggest thing for the Xbox One. So it was like, well, this is ridiculous. Where are the games? Microsoft did say that they were going to be showing off the console and like some of the features, but the games would be at E3. So that point of contention is like, well, why are you complaining when you know that they've said that? Now, that's daft. That's complaining about something that's kind of irrelevant because it's going to be fixed at E3 anyway. Then there was a PS4. Everything that got taken away from that presentation was not that it looks it looks pretty good, it's got some nice features. It was, oh, where was the console? We didn't get to see the console. This is shit, where's the console? Yeah, it was a mistake not to show the console, but that became the focal point of discussion. When they announced the Wii U, admittedly, the Wii U's like terrible anyway, but that maybe actually deserved the hate because no one knew what the fuck it was. I mean, is it the Wii but with a screen on a pad, or is it a separate thing? I don't even know. I still don't know. But that that got hated on. The Xbox 360, when that was released, there was hate on that. One of the things that people said about the Xbox 360 was that the dashboard looked terrible and the original one was better. Now, I remember seeing the original Xbox dashboard, and it looked like a piece of shit. And apparently it was laggy as hell. And the new one was terrible because it was different. And then you look at the PS3, and that got hated on because it was too expensive and it had a Blu-ray player that it didn't need. If you go back, every single console launch, it's just like, the internet just goes crazed, and they pick up on one thing. And it's like, this is the worst thing as well. Ever
made. It gets worse as well because everything's so more interconnected now with all the Twitter and everything else, the YouTube channels. God, there's loads of stuff. So everybody's just you get this massive like a hate train which just comes out of nowhere. But I think though, like in terms of some stuff, I mean, a lot of the Xbox stuff is still kind of like unconfirmed. But you've got the stuff with like the used games. They may need a license, so you can't actually buy a game and give it to your friend, which I'm guessing is a very old practice with console games. Like, hey, you can borrow my game, but you can't now because you have to pay a fee, but that's not really been confirmed yet. Kind of like how PC works with, digital keys that get registered to Steam, Origin, all the rest of it. You can't then, I can't lend Kiri my copy of Battlefield 3 or whatever. He'd have to go and buy the game and all that stuff. But one thing that kind of, now, I just want to throw this out there because this is sort of something which it's more specifically focused on the Xbox One. It's got all this multimedia stuff, yeah? It's got all this television crap. It's got Kinect, okay? Do Microsoft think that, well, they obviously do think this is the case, that the Xbox One is going to go into the front room, the living room, by the telly, okay? Now, I don't know how families work around the world, sir, but this is my experience of living in a family, sir. If an Xbox was in the front room, okay, and people wanted to watch the telly, you cannot play games on the Xbox at that moment in time, okay? And in fact, the time you can play games is kind of limited because it's in your front room and there's probably other people that want to watch the telly. Now, I think the Wii U tried to get around this with the stupid, oh, it's fine, you can just play it on the poxy pad thing, which is great. But I think, right, and I've got no evidence for this, I'm just going to throw this out there because this is what I think. It's my opinion, sir, that most console gamers are generally playing it not in the front room. It's sort of like maybe in their bedroom, maybe in a spare room, maybe in a games room. But it's in a room where they can sit there and play the game. They're not sitting in the front room. They're not sitting with their family, not sitting with their wives, not sitting with their kids, not sitting with their parents or whoever. They are playing the game in their own space. They're not sitting in the fucking front room. So this is why I don't understand why it's like this. Microsoft want the Xbox One to kind of be everything. They want it to be your set-top box, which is kind of stupid in itself, because why would you pay... Well, here's another thing. Why would you pay for Xbox Live subscription just to get a Netflix subscription when I can just go and get a Netflix subscription now on my PC? I don't have to pay anybody for the fucking right to access that through their online service. No. But you do with the Xbox. There's other things as well. How would the Xbox... Okay, so if you've got... I'll use Virgin Media as an example. If you've got Virgin Media television, they give you a TiVo box. Okay, and I'm guessing most other cable providers are like this around the world, and people like Sky and stuff. If you then bought an Xbox One, how would you connect the Virgin Media box to the Xbox One? Could you even do that? Why would you want to do that? Why would you want the Xbox to take over what the Virgin box does?
Yeah, that is one thing.
It wouldn't even work.
Really bizarre.
It wouldn't even work.
The huge emphasis on TV. It's like, if it's going to replace stuff like the TiVo box, then obviously the ISPs and the television providers would have to account for the fact that you're not using TiVo box, you're using an Xbox 360. But I've already got a TiVo box. To be honest, the addition of an extra thing under the in fact, the TiVo box sits on top of the Xbox 360 because I've got it lying down. That to me is not. I don't see why I'd throw both of those things away to replace it with one thing to take up slightly less space on the shelf that was designed for those two things. It's like I get that they're trying to consolidate it, but I don't really understand why they're trying to consolidate it. One of the kind of theories that is kind of floating around is Apple TV. Microsoft are constantly having this sort of battle with Apple, and I can't remember who it was, but someone said that Apple TV was the greatest thing that Apple had never done because Microsoft and other companies just kill themselves trying to combat something that might not or might happen.
Yeah.
And that, to me, I was like, when they said it, I thought, well, actually, now you think about it, if you look at what's happened before, if you look at like the iPod, when that came out, everyone said that's totally shit. It's just an MP3 player. We've already got those. And now it was like, what was it? One of the fastest selling consumer products of all time or something. Then there was the iPad, and it was like, oh, well, that's shit. It's not a laptop, but it's not a phone. It's just in the middle. That was like day one of that coming out. It was just mental. Like, people were practically killing each other to get hold of it. And Apple have always been kind of on the edge of breaking into TV. Is it some sort of preemptive strike against something they might do?
Why do this? This is what I don't understand. They are games consoles, yeah? Well, I think you've got a separate way each one of the big three manufacturers have gone. So you've got Nintendo with, let's make I don't know what, a gash console, but we know we can't fight against Sony or Microsoft, so we've got to bring ours out faster. So maybe that had an impact on the state of that thing. I don't know, but I mean, when I honestly look back at Nintendo, the only reason I think they're still afloat now is because they got lucky with the Wii. It had a stupid gimmick, and people were like, "Oh, let's buy a Wii." I mean, I think the Wii was like the biggest selling console, wasn't it, or something crazy of the last generation?
Yeah, I mean, they went out of stock like really quickly, and it was impossible to get hold of one.
Yeah, I mean, now look at the PlayStation 4. So, to me, that was marketed as a games device. Yeah, this is an entertainment device for games. Okay, you can probably get films and stuff over it, and God knows what through their online system, but it is a game system. That's what they told me. Microsoft, though, are like, hey, we've got a thing here which is going to do everything for you. So it's going to give you your television, your Skype, all your digital media, your blah blah blah, your this, your this, and we'll show you games later. And it's like, okay, but you've showed me a load of extra stuff, which is not really what, in my eyes, a games console's about. So they're trying to change that to say, look, we've got a system which is going to take control of everything, but then I've got a PC, so that does infinitely more than your Xbox One is going to do.
Yeah.
And it's going to do it cheaper as well. And most probably faster.
And I think part of the problem as well with
that's why I find it very weird.
Yeah, what they've done is they've gone from the back of the Xbox 360, which is a massively popular console, aimed purely at gamers because it's a games console, and in what they've done is they've made the sequel a multimedia, like a home media centre, aimed at the same people who previously just wanted to play games. So it's... I just don't
exactly, it's crazy. I mean, I've seen crazy stuff. They were saying, like, okay, there may be a case where we've got... or a time in the future where there'll be Xbox One controlled devices in a house. So it's kind of this idea of the house becomes intelligent because the Xbox One controls everything. So you could feasibly walk into your front room or you're sitting there watching the telly because this is what Microsoft expects you to be doing. You've got Kinect because they all come with Kinect and you say, Microsoft, make me a pizza or something. And you've got some sort of fantastical pizza oven that starts cooking. Or Xbox, turn on the oven. Xbox, turn the lights off. Xbox... it was set an alarm, but Xbox anything. Xbox turn the washer on. Xbox turn the dryer on. Is that the sort of crazy vision they've got for this? But then another thing is, how much is this going to fucking cost? I can probably guarantee the Xbox One will cost more than the PlayStation 4. And if it doesn't, I'll be shocked. Because, well, I think it'll just cost more.
Yeah.
But I mean, I expect their PlayStation 4 to be quite expensive, but I just think it will cost more, the Xbox One. And then if they're going to push all this extra stuff, to me, it just seems like...
Which will probably require
I really don't understand.
Thing as well.
How much is this going to cost?
So
how much is all this going to cost?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy amounts of money. And I really do not get... I mean, okay, I know I'm not like the target demographic. I'm somebody who's a PC gamer. But you could theoretically pull me away and say, hey, here's a games console. It does this, it does this, it does this. And I might think, I'll give that a go. But all I see with the Xbox One is like, that's just a PC, but shit. And I'm like, why am I going to piss around paying them for access to a service to use online functionality when I can just do whatever the hell I like on my PC at the moment?
Yeah.
It's just dead weird. And especially it's Microsoft as well. I mean, what the hell? I just don't understand.
Something I only just realised as well is, correct me if I'm wrong, Sony own Blu-ray, don't they?
They do.
Yeah. So no matter what happens with the console war between the PS4 and the Xbox One, I'd imagine so that Sony are laughing on the inside, given that the Xbox One ships with a Blu-ray player.
And it also isn't there a Sony component in there as well, or something they were saying, and they were like, yeah, Microsoft are not really too hot on telling people about that. I don't know. I mean, that might just be bullshit. I don't know.
I suspect just in terms of
I really don't understand
things, Sony might win.
Yeah.
But in terms of, to me, as a PC gamer, as someone who uses their console for gaming and already has a TV and various music playing devices and has a computer, the Xbox One is it's just a mystery to me. I don't understand why I would ever need it. The PS4,
it's just a device which is going to do everything you've already got stuff which will do better. So let's just take the modern person, right? So let's look at myself, right? I've got a PC, I've got a Galaxy Nexus tablet, I've got a smartphone. Okay, so why would I want an Xbox One if it hasn't got the most fucking amazing gaming experience I'm ever going to experience, ever? Well, this is what I'm going to say to that, is I probably ain't going to want an Xbox One because I can do everything that's going to give me on the bits and pieces I've already got at the moment. And also, like, why? I you know what, I just don't understand. I don't know. Like, this is just turned into like a hate rant on it. More hate. It's for the hate train, but I just don't understand why they would sort of go down that angle. I mean, is this aimed at a different target market, a different older people?
That's just the thing. It could be that it's
if my parents seen this, I don't think they'd give a shit, bloke.
No,
they'd be like, "Why the hell would I want that?"
It feels like they're aiming at an audience that they either don't have or don't know where to find, because you don't follow.
Actually, that's good. No, that's good. Maybe that is what they're trying to do, actually. Maybe they're thinking, oh, they're arrogant. We've got the gamers locked down, so we're just going to go after a different market now. The gamers will be fine. When the gamers have absolutely shit the south online completely.
Because that's the thing. The gamers are the ones who bought the 360, which put Microsoft in the position of it being profitable to make an Xbox One. And so they've made the Xbox One, but they've made it full of crap that the gamers don't want. Oh! I
don't remember what happened at the PlayStation 3 launch, but I think that was notoriously bad because Sony were like, they had the PlayStation 2, and that was I think that is the biggest selling console of all time. They had that, and they were like, yeah, we're the kings, so yeah, it's PlayStation 3, it's going to be massively expensive. fucking love it, man. People were like, what? And then they bought the Xbox, so Microsoft started to get in control. And I think at the end of this cycle, Microsoft are definitely in control with that type of gamer. So they're like, yeah, fuck them. We're going to just tell everybody about our amazing multimedia shit, and then we'll... so it's kind of like they've switched positions now.
Yeah, whereas it feels now that PlayStation looked at what happened with the PS3 and were like, well, okay, that was too expensive. We didn't explain it very well. It didn't go down very well. It wasn't received properly. So we're going to make an effort to win back those people that were alienated. Whereas Microsoft have gone, well, we have all the 360s in the world ever, and people loved it, so we can do whatever the hell we like. They've swapped round again. And it's kind of depressing that Microsoft don't seem to have learned from the PS3 launch. Because the PS3 launch was what catapulted the 360 into such a dominating position.
I think they just get deluded. I think they just honestly get deluded, and it's like they're not really that in touch with the market as they should be. People who advise them to do things, it's like, I guess you could probably see it on like from like a corporate point of view. We have the gaming market locked down. We need to start moving into this other market now. So that's what we're going to do. And it's like, yeah, on paper that might sound great, but when it's actually launched, it's like, yeah. I mean, I based off both presentations, I haven't thought to myself, I need one of these. If you had to pressure me at the moment, I'd say maybe a PS4 over the Xbox One, because why would I want another PC, basically? I mean, I don't know about you. What do you think? I mean, if I said to you now, okay, you got to pick a console,
I'd go PS4. I mean,
why would you do that?
It looks more like a games console than the Xbox One.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to Kat about it, because I said at some point the 360 probably will break, as all things do. We've been through 2 already. At some point, this one's gonna have to go. And she doesn't know anything about consoles. She doesn't know anything about computers. It's not really something that interests her. But I just basically said, this is the PS4, this is the Xbox One, these are the features. What are you thinking? And she just was like, the Xbox One sounds shit, and we've already got a telly. And that was it. I mean, that was that was someone from from completely from the outside. All I did was just read off a list of things from Wikipedia, and I was like, "This is what this is. This is what that is. Which one would we go for?" And she was just like, "I don't see the point of the Xbox One." So, I mean, coming from someone who doesn't have any allegiance to anything, and is just approaching from a
could be considered a typical console gamer, because I'm no disrespect to people who just play on consoles. They're not like me and you. We understand more, the technical aspects of PCs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't, and to them, it's like they just get given. It's like you go shopping, they just get given a list of like stuff on advertising material, and they're like, "Should I buy this games console or this games console? This one's got games. I'll buy this one." It's like, I don't know. It's crazy, but we could go on for fucking ages about this, guys. What I want to know is, based off these 2 presentations, if you've seen them. If you haven't, you can kind of formulate your own opinion based on what we've just said. Would you buy a next generation console if you are a PC gamer at the moment? Have they done enough to tempt you over? Maybe E3 will do enough. Maybe E3 will say, look at this game, it's amazing. I don't know. I mean, I think gaming, especially PC gaming, is very much going into a golden age at the moment. You look at the major titles, things like, you may not like these games, but you have to agree they're major. League of Legends, Dota 2. What platform are they on? They're on PC. Free-to-play games, where are they predominantly? In fact, I can't even give you an example of a free-to-play game on a console. I don't think it exists.
I can't know.
All of this is PC. Well, all of this is like PC, and it's a big, revival almost. And PCs are not that expensive these days to put together. They used to be horrendously expensive. But I think we're going to be seeing a case where this Xbox is going to be horridly expensive.
Yeah.
I reckon it's going to be 500 quid. I reckon it's going to be 499 quid.
And then when you put it on top, to even access half the... I mean, I know we can't get things like the TV or the sport in the UK, but to have like Netflix requires an Xbox Gold membership anyway. So you're paying for that, and then you're paying for Netflix on top. So even if you discount the monthly stuff, it's probably going to be expensive. When you count it in as well, all these subscription services that you can get, it's going to be fucking off the scale. Compare that to like the PlayStation Network, which I believe is free. To the best of my knowledge, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, I think it's free. Yeah, it is. It's free for the multiplayer stuff, but I think if you pay, they give you stuff for free.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft don't.
They never give you anything, bloke. They give you a middle finger. That's what they give you.
So there you go, guys. Look, let us know what you think below. Anything to do with the consoles, What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. You've heard the discussion. Take part in it, and we will read the comments. So I think we best get out of here, Mr. Kirioth. As ever, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. You can also follow Kirioth. He's @Kirioth. And do whatever you do with this video. Like, favourite it, downvote it, unlike, whatever if you don't like it. But surely you'd be crazy if you did such a thing. And Kirioth will come and find you in the middle of the night with a kosh. Beat the shit out of you.
Oh, baby, yeah.
I just headbutted the mic. What? Anyway, we'll catch you next time, people. Toodaloo!